Hi, I'm Denise from Reef and Ridge, and today I'm going to talk to you about how to make your own beef tallow right from your own kitchen. We like to pick a weekend where we're not spearfishing or hunting and really kind of getting around the house and getting other stuff done. And so beef tallow from home. It's super important, especially if you're into healthy cooking and really taking care of your body like we are. It is by far the best cooking oil that you can use. It has an extremely high smoke point. So when you're sauteing vegetables or meat, that is really the cooking oil that you should use. Plus, there has a lot of great health benefits to it. A lot of people also use it for skincare. I'm not going to get into that in this video, but I will do another video about how you can make your own skincare. And even sometimes people use it for making soaps. So it's a really amazing, versatile product. Where do you get beef tallow? So I've got about close to 6 pounds here. We get our own grass-fed cow, about half a cow. We keep it in a big freezer. And a lot of times they keep that, they just kind of throw the fat in at no extra charge. Or you can talk to your local butcher or your local grocer. And a lot of times if they have scraps around, they'll just give it to you. So really, really great. So let's get started. So when you get beef fat scraps, what you're going to get is a lot of different variety. This is really great fat right here. You can see how it's pliable, very soft. This is the kind of fat that you really, really want. This is great too. You can see the nice thick fat here, but you want to make sure that you get any muscle, meat or anything out of the scrap. So that's what we're going to be trimming out. So I'll just kind of show you. You want to get it kind of down into smaller cubes. This will really help the fat render while it's cooking. So this is real simple. This strip here doesn't really have any muscle fibers at all. So it's really simple. There's a little bit there, so I'll just kind of trim that off. You just want to kind of get it as clean as possible. And this is just garbage, that's scrap. Any of this is scrap. So again, it is a process, you know, depending how much fat you're cutting down, it could take you up to an hour to go through and trim all of this. So for this here, I'll just kind of take it down in sections and cube this up. And you can see all of this is meat. You don't want that. So you want to try to cut that out. All of that is meat inside, so this is no good. But this is beautiful. Is what we end up getting. And this took about 20 minutes because I had help from the most amazing man in my life. Thank you very much. But if I were by myself, it could take me, you know, close to an hour, 45 minutes to an hour to cube up about, 5 to 6 pounds of beef fat. And as you can see, you don't have to be perfect. Sometimes you'll get a little bit of muscle tissue in here, and that's really okay. You just want to get as much fat cubed up as possible, and the more you do that, the better it will render down. So I'm going to put this, this is a 12-quart stainless steel pot that I love to use for lots of things, but it's really great because tallow doesn't stick. Some people add water. I never do. I just put the fat straight in there, and it never really has burned for me. So it seems to be pretty good. And then I use a masher about halfway through the cooking time, just to kind of really get the fat to render out as much liquid as possible. This will cook for 4 to 5 hours at 250 degrees, and that's about it. Okay, so we are about halfway through the cooking process. It's been about 2.5 hours. And what I'm doing here is just kind of taking this masher And I'm really trying to just press down to extract as much of the fat and liquid as possible. And you can see I didn't add any water to this. This is pure fat. My dog is smelling this and wants to know what's going on. But it's not burning at all. It's all like liquid fat. So you really don't need to add water. A lot of people do add water. Sometimes people will add salt. Sometimes people will add a little baking soda. I just do it straight up, and you can kind of add salt or baking soda depending what kind of tallow you want to make in the finishing process. So, and I'm going to show you after this is done cooking how we render the fat when it's all done cooking. So I'm going to let this go for another couple hours. Okay, moment of truth. So, gotta tell you, in all transparency, I kind of screwed up the last time. We made the whole batch. My microphone went dead and you couldn't hear a word that I said. So, but I do want to show you the final product. So these are 3 frozen jars. They're pretty full, close to it. These are 16-ounce mason jars. So, plus we had this one. As you can see, we've already started using it. We just take a fork and just kind of like peel it off the top and cook with it. But we had nearly 64 ounces of rendered pure beef tallow from that first batch that we did. So that's quite a lot of tallow. And this will probably last us maybe between 4 to 5 months, I think. Maybe even longer, depends how much we cook with it. So great to see the final product, but I still want to show you how the whole process happens. So let's see how we look. So it's been cooking at 250 for roughly 4.5 hours. And I turned the oven down a little while ago. Just kind of let it cool down a little bit. And as you let this sit, more fat will start rendering out of it. So it's okay to let it sit, but that is just golden goodness. It looks amazing. It smells amazing. So I'm just going to take my masher, just kind of mix it up, stir it up, get all those little bits out. Not as much tallow as the first batch, but again, I just did a small batch just to kind of finish up the end of this video for you and show you the process. So in the straining process, it's really 3 steps. You do 1 step that's kind of just to get all the chunks out and get as much of the liquid separated from the chunks as you can, just to kind of start the separation. And what I do is I take just a pasta strainer, colander, 10 quart pan, and I just dump it into that. So that just helps kind of break away most of the larger chunks from the fat. Kind of give that. There we go. A little bit of fat left in there, but that's okay. Just be careful because it can splatter and you don't want to burn yourself. So that's good enough. Again, with my masher, I'm just going to kind of squeeze out some of this fat. You're going to get some bits in the render in the pan, but that's okay. This is just the first strain. I do 3 strains to get it really fine. Okay, so once I've squeezed out most of the liquid, I'm just going to return this back to the pan. But I still need my colander, so. Okay, step 2, colander, and this is a nice large mixing bowl. It's stainless steel. I try to avoid using any plastic of any kind. Keeps it more pure. You don't have, whenever you're pouring a hot liquid through plastic, is never good because you're going to get plastic in your product and you don't want that. Okay, so this is the second strain. You can see there's still little bits in there, but the cheesecloth is going to catch that. I'm not quite sure what mesh size this is, but it's just a very fine cloth. It really helps to trap all of the larger bits. And then I'll pick that up, squeeze it out. I have just recently purchased this strainer set. These things are great. It comes at three different sizes. This one is really great. It's used for if you're making spices, which I do a ton of my own mixed spices. And I buy these little spice jars, and you just put this right on top of the spice jar and dump it in, and it's wonderful. Same thing with any kind of juices like lemon juice. I squeeze my own lemon juice, and I use the same jars for that. So this really comes in handy. This is for a smallmouth mason jar. So you can see the smaller size, and I actually have a smallmouth. I can show you how that fits. So this is the smallmouth. You can see how it fits really nicely. Okay, and then it also comes with a larger mouth, which is what I have here. These are large mouth mason jars. Nice larger funnel. You can use this instead of the colander if you want. I prefer the colander, but I haven't quite tried it with this yet, but I could see how this would be really helpful. And it also has this. This is that fine cheesecloth. So what you do, sorry, dog hair on it. And there's the dog. Had to keep him entertained with peanut butter in his bowl. So you put the mesh side underneath, and that's on top, and you put this on top of your mason jar, and now you can see how you've got a nice cheesecloth right there to separate, and this is your final pour, and this is going to be pure. You want to watch your levels because you don't want to overflow. Looks like I am really close. Yep, I'm going to stop right there. And it has a beautiful gold color. And you saw the final product as I showed you. Let me move this here. It solidifies pure white. It's really an amazing process. Okay. And that's really all there is to it. But you can see, even after 2 strains, you still have a lot of those bits. And that's why 3 strains are really, really important. Because even though I used cheesecloth that first time, you still get bits in there. So really fine straining process 3 times, and then you get this gorgeous gold color. I'll let them cool to room temperature, cap them, and then I'll put them in the freezer and take them out as I need them. And that's it.